Last year, in November, 27th of November, I got broken up with. And I'd basically been in this relationship that meant a lot to me, um, which basically the girl broke up with me. So then started December, and I was just lost. I went back to doing a whole bunch of bad habits. I started smoking again. I actually got a whole smoking addiction because of me just trying to cope with the whole situation. Um, and so the days went by. It's now January, and February passes by. And I'm telling myself I need to commit. I'm telling myself I need to, go back to the way that I used to be, because I was a very committed person. You look at me back in 2023, that, fucking 16-year-old kid that was so committed to everything that he used to do and all his goals. And out of nowhere, he just becomes degenerate. He loses himself. He truthfully just lost himself. And so now, in this sort of process of trying to get back to this person that I was, it took me a long while. It really did. Um, I did a lot of meaningful actions throughout that period. I actually started with taking peptides. So I started taking like peptides, I took MK677. And then a couple months later, I started taking actual steroids, um, all for the sake of basically improving my fitness journey and all this sort of shit. It's something that I really wanted to do for so long. And I'm grateful that I actually have done that. Now, I've also sort of decided to drop out of school. I was, just actually before yesterday, I officially finished school. I was officially a high school dropout. And I pretty much like did all these, I had like some exams that I had to do and everything, and I pretty much finished all of them. So it's literally now the end of the year, nothing more than this. And even if I sort of don't actually fail, or even if I sort of fail in the exams, I'm actually not going to repeat again because I don't need to. So I've literally, like, I'm officially a high school dropout. I'm taking steroids. I'm doing everything that I wanted to do in my life. You go back to me back then in the good old days, and I used to talk about how steroids were something that I actually really wanted to do in the future. I was talking about how I wanted to drop out. I made tons of videos, at least 4 videos, talking about how school was terrible. I really want to drop out. I hate school. My parents are forcing me to stay at school, and they finally accepted for me to just leave school. And so it was just this big move for me. But now that I've sort of finally, it was such a divine timing that I exactly yesterday started my monk mode season of no, whatever you want to call it. And it's all divine. I woke up at the exact time I was supposed to wake up at. I followed the routine strictly. Not a single action was not unplanned. I did everything according to my plan. I did all the actions I needed to do to hit my goals. And looking back, that was the most productive day I'd had in the last maybe 16 months. I'm not even taking the piss. And it's such a difficult journey to go from unproductive to productive, go from, this unfit, skinny dork, fat dork, whatever the fuck it is, to some muscular person, some, poor person, to some, financially free person. It's so hard to make these drastic, big changes in our lives. And a lot of times we just think, yeah, but I don't need to change so much, right? I just gotta do a couple of different things and suddenly I become rich. Suddenly I build an amazing physique. When in reality, it's just not the way it works. To be able to achieve these big goals that we aspire to achieve, we must go on seasons of no. We must go on seasons of monk mode. These seasons where we say no to everything, where we reject all these different, things that are pulling us back, where the fat person rejects the donuts, rejects the fast food, rejects all the desserts and the sugar, and he decides, I am going to stick to my clean diet because I want to lose weight. Where this person says no to skipping the gym, and he shows up every single day. And people struggle a lot to do these things. I actually went on one season of no back when I was, back in 2023. And that monk mode season was probably one of the best monk mode seasons I'd done in my life. Back then, I had really toxic friends back then, and I'd left them. I basically did everything that I wanted to do. I started to take mentors. I started to, I had a whole bunch of people that I aspired to achieve certain things that they knew very well how to basically, help people do. So I've done a lot. And looking back, I really love the version of me that was the most productive. And I hate the version of me that was in that relationship. That version of me who was, distracted, who didn't do anything. I remember my average day back then when I used to be, in the relationship and I sort of was, all fucked up and all this garbage. My average day would be wake up to school, go to school, leave, nap, wake up, go to the gym, hit a mediocre fucking workout, go back, eat a meal, maybe take a shower, and then sleep. Oh yeah, doom scroll, then sleep. And it was such a sad life that I'd lived back then. And no wonder she left me. No wonder that I was such a fulfilled man when she first met me. And I just became a fat fuck. I became a bitch. And I deserved that breakup. I really did. So, if you find yourself in a similar position right now, where your life is not where you want it to be, you have a goal, you have something that you want to achieve, and you want it badly, and you've been trying to kind of do it, you've been trying to kind of get to this goal, you've been trying to commit to it, but you just keep going back to the bad habits. You keep going back to the video games, keep going back to all the different shit that's holding you back from this goal. And you just want to be free. You just want to actually, for once in your life, commit to something and actually do good, actually be able to be productive, to do the work, to achieve the goal. And this is exactly the guide for this sort of situation. So this is going to be a long video. This is really going to be far longer than most of the videos that I've made in the last while. And I actually was not planning on making this video. Funny no. I was planning on making a normal fitness video that would take me 15 minutes to record and just fucking move on with my life. But I decided, you know what? I've gone through such a fucking hassle to get myself back to the position where I am right now. I've literally just suffered so much to try and get back to routine. Those last year where I have not been able to commit to my routine, where I have not been able to wake up, I've not been able to do something. Every time I try to do anything, I just fling right back. And I would have wanted there to be some form of guide to pop straight on my face on YouTube, where I could just watch this video, take action, and just at least have a higher chance at actually accomplishing this. And so, if you want to actually have this video benefit you, you should probably not be distracted. You probably should, you probably have already scrolled down to the comments. You probably have already, maybe gotten distracted. Maybe you, as I'm saying this shit, you're fucking scrolling through YouTube and you're looking for videos and whatever. And hey, if you actually don't want to fucking watch this video, you can fucking click off, because it's actually not going to help you that much anyway, since you're distracted and you're fucking scrolling around. But if you actually want this to sort of really help you and actually change your life, then you gotta make this full screen. You gotta actually watch through the video. Like, don't just fucking keep scrolling to the comments, scroll to YouTube and look for fucking videos and whatever. I'm gonna watch this video after this one, all this garbage. I know it's entertaining to do. I do it personally, but it's like, if you want this to actually help you, just actually watch this with like full presence. Actually like focus on the video. Our first step in this big guide is setting a goal and a plan. So to be able to sort of find yourself, your goal, the sort of thing that's going to, be the direction of where this monk mode season is going to go, you sort of want a piece of paper, preferably. So, I mean, what you could do is pretty much, you could do this on notes anywhere, but I want you to write 3 to 10 goals that you would like to accomplish in the next 12 months. So, I mean, right now for me, it's like August. So August next year, this goal should be fulfilled in the next 12 months. So I want you to write a whole bunch of goals. 10 max, 3 minimum. And I'll, you can sort of pause the video. So now you have at least 3 to 10 goals written on your piece of paper. So these goals, as they are basically supposed to be accomplished in 12 months. So I want you to select one, only one, that, if accomplished, will make the greatest impact on your life. So think, which one of these goals, let's say, 100 kilos, getting to 100 kilos, making a bulk of 100 kilos, right? Or like getting 1,000 followers on Instagram, or making, a boatload of money, or getting the degree, or whatever, right? And basically select one that, if you accomplish this one goal out of all these goals, it will make the greatest impact on your life. And so, for me right now, if I'm going to talk about me, I personally, my sort of goal is to basically grow my business. I want to be making at least 3K per month. And that's sort of my goal to accomplish by around December. I did this back in January. So now that you have this goal, you need to understand that all the other goals are basically distractions. All the other goals are the reason that you haven't hit this one already. And it's because we are so focused on different goals. We have so many different things that we want to accomplish. We want to get the, high grade and this high, whatever, like exam fucking mark. And we also want to, build a good physique. And we also want to, we want to do so much shit. And that's the very reason why we're not making so much progress. There's this sort of concept of essentialism. And it's pretty much that the less you do of things, the less you focus on, the less things that you're required to do, the less goals that you have set, the more likely you are to hit the goal. So think, if you had one guy who did a whole bunch of sports. This guy did football, he did, basketball, he did, he weightlifted, and he also like does powerlifting, and he also does, volleyball. He does a whole bunch of sports. And then you have another person who just weightlifts. He just focuses on weightlifting. That's all he does. He does nothing else. He does no other sports. If you put the two against each other in weightlifting, who would be better? And of course, your answer would be the guy who focuses on only the weightlifting, because he has nothing else to focus on. His whole energy, his thinking, everything he does is pointed towards this single goal of being a better weightlifter. Well, that guy has 100 different fucking things that he focuses on. And today I've got this training session for basketball. And then tomorrow I have volleyball. And then I have wrestling. And then I have MMA fighting. Then I have the weightlifting. Then I have this. And looking back, actually you could fucking look here. I used to be a karate player. And once I understood that karate was holding me back from weightlifting, and I cared about weightlifting more than karate, I quit. And this little certificate thing here, this was actually like a certificate that was like, he's a black belt, he's a like really great player, this sort of certificate thingy. And I quit. And the reason is just so simple. In fact, like I have so much more other sports. Like in my closet, I also have like really old football boots. I used to like really do football a lot, and there were so many different things that I used to do. Even basketball, I used to like do a lot of basketball in school. And these days, the last time I touched a soccer ball, like a football, was probably like two years ago. Last time I did karate was like, I think also 2 years ago. It's been so long since I've done these distraction actions, because that's exactly what they are. They're just, aspirations that I would like to be a karate player. I would like to be an MMA fighter. I would like to be this. I would like to be that. But what is the actual real thing that you need to do? And hey, maybe weightlifting isn't for you. It really just depends on what it is really for you. And so that's exactly why I told you, select the one goal that would make the biggest impact on your life. Because that's exactly what you need to focus on. If there's this, imagine if there's this guy who is struggling financially. He's struggling, in his relationships. But he just has a wonderful physique, and all he does is he just grows his physique, and that's all he does. Now, if his career, now you could argue that this guy's career, would be benefiting from it in some sense. But if he isn't working actively towards his financial state and he's sort of struggling to do anything, then how is he, eventually he's going to plateau. He's not going to run out of money, so he can't buy the steroids, so he then has to fucking struggle with all that shit. He can't buy the food. Or he can't get into a competition. So it's like, then again, eventually you plateau. So you have to organize things carefully. What is the goal that would get you the farthest right now, that would make your life significantly better? And that should be the goal you focus on. So right now you should have this goal. You should understand, this is the goal I'm going to pursue for the next 12 months. And all the other goals, they're either on maintenance, so I don't really give a fuck on actually trying to pursue these goals, or they're completely removed. Don't even think about them. And preferably, you just cross out all those other goals. Cross them out like they don't even fucking exist. Just fucking cross them. And make the one goal the main focus. So now that we have the goal, we need to set the plan. And the plan is quite a simple thing. You really just gotta do, or basically just understand, what am I supposed to do to get this goal? It's really just do. What can I do? What am I supposed to do to hit this goal? So you want to, basically be 100 kilos lean. Well, then you would basically bulk up big fucking amount of time, and then you would cut down. And so that would be your plan. You would be like, okay, I'm gonna eat 5,000 calories a day. I'm gonna be training daily on this certain split. I'm gonna be doing muscle protein synthesis. So every 3 hours, I'm gonna schedule that I drink a protein shake or that I have a meal that's high in protein. And I'll also, be doing, I don't know, some fucking cardio, whatever, right? Like I'm mentioning whatever sort of thing. So you have this plan, these actions that you need to do on a daily, weekly, monthly, whatever it is, all these different timelines, things that you have to basically do these actions to get to this goal. And so the first thing is just defining these actions. What am I supposed to do? It's like you want to be a good YouTuber. What do? You record a boatload of videos, you edit them, you upload them, you package them really well, so you put a good title and a good thumbnail. You could basically analyze what competitors do and you fucking, I don't know, steal titles or some shit. Besides that, what's really more to it? Nothing much. So, like, you could argue maybe weekly, channel analysis or something. But it's like, besides that, there's really not much left. So you need to define these actions for the goal that you have basically set to be the goal. And so how do you get to this goal? Define every single action you can think of. Like even the micros. Think every single fucking like protein shake that you have to fucking take every 3 hours needs to be planned. And so now you should have these defined actions. And so pretty much once you have these defined actions, what we need to do is we need to ensure that we will be doing these actions on a daily basis to hit the goal. And now, how do we do that? It's actually very simple. And I already mentioned this like 100 different times in this video. But it's pretty much committing to a routine. It's fucking so simple. You will basically just time block. You will basically like define everything that you will do in every minute of your day. So this will seem really obsessive and extreme. And if you're already thinking this is extreme, like just hear me out. So you'll basically be defining what you're going to be doing. This is going to be like a big sort of, daily schedule. So you'll have your sleep, you'll have when you go to the gym, you have, everything else that you're basically going to be doing in your day, waking up, brushing your teeth, and everything should be sort of time blocked. So it has to be sort of accurate. Every action you will do needs to be put there. So you've defined the actions that you're supposed to do to your goal. You've defined these. So pretty much these will basically be added into the routine. But first, before you add them, you will add everything you're supposed to do in your daily life. So let's say you are, religious, so you have to go to church or you have to go to the mosque. So you add that in as whatever weekly or daily thing, whatever it is, right? You have meals on a daily basis. So you have the meals and you put them in. You sleep on a daily basis. So you put the sleeping. You go to the bathroom every morning on a daily basis and you brush your teeth and whatever. You have that in there. So you put your daily life first, and then we will have a whole bunch of empty slots that you can fill your time with these pretty much like these actions that will get you to your goal. And those usually are the times when you'll be doing the bad habits, the times when you'll be playing the video games, the times when you'll be focusing on other things that are not really so important. And so, well, I'm mentioning all these shenanigans, but really it becomes a lot more simpler when you put it on paper. And the best way to sort of do this is like just get like basically like open Google Calendar. It's like a free website. It's like on Google, and you pretty much you can even sort of do this on Apple Calendar as well. Like all of it works. I just do it on Google Calendar because like I've been doing it on it for like so long, for like 2 years. So pretty much you open this. You have an app version. You have it on website. Whatever you fucking want. And you will pretty much start to time block every single thing. You will add everything you do on your regular life. You will then have all these empty slots once you're basically done. And you will pretty much add all the different actions that you're supposed to do to hit your goal. It's really so simple. It sounds so complicated, but trust me, just do this. This is the biggest move, by the way. This is like because if there's no plan, you don't really have anything. Like, it's like the moment that you don't have a plan, you just fling back to your old life. You fling back to playing the video games. You fling back to, all these different bad habits. But once you have a specific plan that is on paper, you just know exactly, okay, I'm supposed to do this at this time. I do this every single day. This is how my day goes. And people think you're supposed to just make this as like a military, prison, like school, jail fucking system. It's not really the way it works. This could be as fun as it gets. You could have, I'll tell you from like my own fucking routine. I wake up and I don't record immediately. I used to record immediately. These days I wake up, I go to the bathroom, I chill, I put on some music and I make my coffee. I go outside and I sit in the sun. So usually I wake up at around like 7 a.m. And I go out and I sit in the sun. And I sort of just talk to myself because I just love fucking talking to myself. And I get so many bright ideas and shit. And that sets me up for a good day. I usually sit outside and there are bees and, a whole bunch of fucking good nature scenes. And so it sets me up for a good day. Other people, meditate. Other people, do gratitude journaling, all this kind of shit. And really, it's all up to you, what you enjoy. And of course, I'm not saying you add in hedonistic actions, that you literally schedule fapping sessions or you schedule playing video games for an hour and you say it's just 1 hour, because that's cope. And at the end of the day, it's the more distraction actions you do, the less likely you are to achieve the goal. Because the guy who doesn't do those distraction actions gets the goal faster, because he simply only focuses on it. And then again, that's exactly what I mentioned, that it's a season of no. It's a season of saying, I don't want these things. And if that's offends you, if that makes you feel sensitive, then this video is just not for you. You can fucking click off. And so now your routine should be a lot more full. You should now have this defined routine. You sleep at this time, you wake up at this time, you have gym at this time, and then you have a whole bunch of these meals. Basically the rest of the sort of things are defined towards your goal, the actions you need to do to get your goal. And so it really isn't that complicated. It's such an easy thing to do, and yet it makes your life so much fucking easier. So the final note I'll add on this before I move on to step 2 is you need to keep this routine open on your phone at all times. That's why I recommended having it on Google Calendar, on Apple Calendar, because those you will usually have open. You can have them open at all times. You have app versions of them. And so you can basically just keep, right now, as I'm recording this on my phone, I have Google Calendar open. It's in the background. And I don't sort of close the app. It's always open because I need to have it open. Because the moment I get up, the moment I do anything, I can just go back and look at this. The moment I just open my phone, immediately Google Calendar. Okay, in front of me, I need to do this action. And I immediately just get straight into doing this action. And so it's really just about living by it. Live by it and pretty much just keep it open. Keep it in sight so you don't forget it. And, at first you'll sort of struggle to keep it open, but just sort of keep doing it, make it a habit of keeping it open, and you'll just get used to it. So step 2 is removing everything else. And we already removed the distraction goals. But there are more things to this, because you don't realize this yet. Your routine looks very clean, and your routine looks like it's, you have so much free time and it's so great. And you have every single thing that you need to get your goal, and you just have some extra time, which is cool. But the thing is, it's not going to look like this. Because although we say that we are such productive people and we're going to follow this and all this kind of shit, in reality, we're actually not going to follow this as much as we think. If we think we're going to follow this 100%, it's more like 70% or maybe 60%. And the rest, you'll get some inconvenience. I don't know, like your fucking mom wants you to get the trash out or something, or you want to go to the supermarket, or your friends call you to go out to play football or whatever. It's like there are going to be different things that are going to happen. And so because we don't want these things to happen, we need to reduce the likelihood of these things happening. And so pretty much the main thing that we'll be doing is removing distractions. And it's all about finding the constraint. What is the thing that's limiting us from the goal? It's really just that question. What limits us from the goal? And we already mentioned essentialism. Who can we remove from our life? What can we remove from our life? And who is actually pretty important, because a lot of times people are the ones that limit us. People are the ones that pull us into doing these bad habits. When I had that smoking addiction, it was people pulling me into it. It was my friends pulling me into smoking. I didn't really give a fuck about smoking. But because my friends would pull me into it, and I would see them every single day, and I would pull out the, cigarette, and I'd sort of start smoking, it would just happen. And so who can you remove from your life? What can you remove from life? What actions can you remove from your life? What habits can you remove from your life? And a lot of times it's just about cutting out every single bad habit you can think of. Cutting out the video games, cutting out all this fucking garbage. Fat person, cut out the junk food. It's like, you know exactly the thing that you need to cut out. And a lot of times, it's the things that we don't want to cut out. It's the anime, it's the fucking video games, it's the Netflix, it's our, toxic friend group that we are, traumatically attached to. And we just almost have to sort of understand logically that these things don't benefit us. Although we are emotionally connected to these things, we shouldn't let these things stop us from achieving our goals. And then again, if this sounds offensive to you, but it's okay to only watch 1 hour of series, or to watch, or to play 1 hour of video games, or to go out with your friends, then this video is just not for you. You could go and live the average life. But at the end of the day, this is for someone who is into a season of no. And a season of no means rejecting everything. It means you just basically focus on doing one sole thing. And everything else is a distraction and you will not do. And I always used to talk about essential few, and how, you would sort of define all the areas in your life, and you would basically cut out all the areas that don't benefit you. So for me, karate was an area that didn't benefit me. I used to try and learn guitar, didn't benefit me. I used to do a whole bunch, I used to watch a whole bunch of anime, didn't benefit me. I used to do all these different things that did not benefit me. School didn't benefit me. I dropped out. All these different things. It's like, what is the thing that is limiting you? What is the thing that's limiting your goals? What is the thing that is consuming your time? And then finding these things and just removing them from your life is just the easiest fix to all this shit. It is really the essential step of basically doing this. And so I know it's painful. You don't want to do it. You can probably think you have something in your mind right now. They're just clinging to. You're like, no, I don't want to leave this. And I've had that. For me, it was personally anime. I really did not want to stop watching anime. I was like, okay, I'm going to erase the video games. I'm going to erase social media. I don't care. But for anime, it was just something else. I was like, anime is fine. Anime is fine. And eventually I understood that anime was not fine. It was just a distraction, like every other thing. And so remove all these things. Remove social media. Remove all this garbage. And it's like, social media might be another big cope for you now, because you're like, wait, what? Remove social media? What? No, but I need to contact my friends. And but I have a lot of relationships on there. But I need to post stories and show that I'm alive. And it's such a big cope that I had for a long time. I honestly don't blame you on coping on any of these things. But eventually you'll understand just how bad of a thing it is for you. Just how fucked up it is. To the point that it's literally fucking your mental health right now. You don't even fucking understand it. Just trust me. If you just let go of these things for a week. Heck, if you let go of these for... I'm going to say a week. You will literally understand exactly what I'm talking about. just how fucked up these fucking things are. Your mind will feel so clear. You'll feel so different when these things are not around you, these distractions of social media and of all this different garbage. And like, I wish I'd done this sooner. I wish I just told, like, I'd go back to like tell younger me, you know, all these things are the things you're coping with, like, just leave these things. They're not necessary. You know, like, for me, like, smoking cigarettes before recording videos was actually something. Especially in like the degenerate period, like when I sort of, you know, like a couple of months ago. And so like I would smoke a cigarette or like a couple of cigarettes before recording a video. Just, I was like, oh, but I need to like get the focus, and so like I can talk better on camera. And it was such a dumb cope now that I look at it. And it's like most of the cope we create is so illogical and dumb. And you just have to just do these actions. Like, just genuinely right now, whatever it is that you're coping with, just remove it. ASAP, remove it. If it's the anime websites, like, just fucking remove them. Remove the shortcuts, remove everything. And this step is what really makes or breaks this. It's what either ensures that you're 100% gonna hit the goal, no matter what, or that you're going to fail. Because it's all, like, hitting the goal is really just doing the actions required to hit the goal. People think that there's the external factor, that somehow there's this other thing outside of my control that is going to sabotage me and stop me from hitting my goal. But that's simply not true. If you do the actions required to hit the goal, you will hit the goal. It's just that simple. And so that's why I just always fucking say this. Like, you need to have the plan. And once you have the plan and you have the routine and you've ensured that I will do these actions on the exact, like, in this exact time, and nothing will stop me and I will stick to this, and you've removed the distractions that will stop you from going to these actions that will actually get you to your goal, then it's all good. You're literally set for success, because it's all about doing the actions. And the only thing that stops you from doing the actions is the distractions. And so if you remove the distractions and you do the actions, you get the goal. It's just that fucking simple. And the final step, and it's just sort of a mindset. It's not really, there's not much action in this, but it's pretty much to never quit. Don't ever quit. It doesn't matter. Maybe you fuck up. Maybe you decide that you're not going to remove one of the distractions. And 6 months in, you realize that you should have removed it earlier, like this one thing, and you end up removing it. Well, don't quit. Not because you didn't accomplish the goal or that you limited yourself from accomplishing the goal. In this set time frame, you can't accomplish it. Don't quit on the goal. Keep pursuing the goal till you actually hit it. And it's like, for me back then, in that monk mode season, I actually never hit that goal. And my first monk mode season in 2023. And I ended up quitting. I quit and I just changed my trajectory. I was like, fuck it, I want to find my future wife and whatever. That's my cope anyway. I was like, I just want to find my future wife. And then I end up dating around for a while, and eventually I never found her. And I can't find her because I'm not supposed to, because I'm not the man that deserves to find that woman yet. And so that's why I just got to keep grinding. And that's what I told myself. And I told myself, the worst thing you did was quitting back then. The only thing that limited me was quitting mentally. I didn't tell myself I quit. I just quit. But I didn't tell myself. I was like, yeah, I'm going to commit to my routine or whatever. But I never really did. And a while later, a couple of months later, I realized that I actually did quit. And that I should have actually just, stuck to that. I should have actually not went on this whole fucking side quest of trying to find the princess. Because no fucking princess can be found when you're a fucking loser. And so I had the mindset of a fucking millionaire. And I'm glad I did. But it was just something about me not doing the actions I was required to do to hit that goal. I just did not do those actions. And that was the thing that actually was the reason why I actually didn't hit that goal. So then again, I also didn't have that much of a clear direction, with my sort of business and everything. And so that was also a big factor for me. But in the grand scheme of things, if you do everything right, if you have the goal clearly defined, you have the plan that is clearly defined of all the actions that are clearly regimented, and you have them stuck in a routine, and you removed all the distractions, that's all you fucking need. Just stay the same. Don't change. Don't let your lizard brain just fuck around with you and get you to do something else. Get you to start looking at this new fucking, shiny object syndrome of like, oh yeah, but I just want to try singing and I want to try rapping and I want to try whatever. Stick to one thing. Like, but MMA is really cool, actually. Oh, I really want to, powerlifting is really nice. I actually want to go into powerlifting. And it's just stick to one fucking thing. Stick to the goal. And once you hit the goal, you can go and fucking do all the other crap. Set them as fucking side ideas once you're fucking done with this big fucking quest. But till you're done, just don't look elsewhere. Focus is just simply, removing distractions. It's not looking at anything else. It's removing everything else and focusing on one thing. That's what focus is. And so if you just focus, you just fucking get to your goal. It's just that simple. And so as long as you have these 3 steps in plan, and the final one just simply being never quitting and never even considering quitting, you will fucking hit that goal. And personally, I've done a lot of monk mode seasons, and looking back, the best seasons of my life were the seasons when I decided to do this. The seasons where I removed a whole bunch of friends from my life and I started pursuing, something that I actually genuinely wanted with all my fucking heart. It was just my purpose and I really wanted to do it. And the one friend that I have that is the only real friend that I have, I had found exactly when I left my old friend group. I left my old friend group, sat around for about 3 or 4 months with no friends. Then I meet this guy, and he's pretty much the single greatest friend that I've ever fucking had. He's a guy who genuinely self-improves. He's not, filled with all this propaganda. He understands that the world is fucked up, and he, basically wants to improve himself. He has a clear purpose defined, and he pursues that purpose. And for me, at least, I'll mention this final note on friends before I end here. And it's that I would rather be alone than be surrounded by people who will limit me from my goal. And this is something that perhaps you should question yourself, do I really have this mindset? Because a lot of people just sit around others because they don't want to sit alone, because they fear sitting alone. And perhaps you should just look at yourself and be like, but these people aren't helping me. These people are limiting me from my goal. When I talk about these people, when I talk about my goals in front of these people, they make fun of me. They're like, oh, you really think you can increase your weight and you can suddenly pack on 20 kilos of muscle? Haha, funny. Yeah, I'd like to see you try. Haha. You really think you can make a boatload of money at 17? Oh, you're so delusional. Haha. And people just love when they can just make fun of someone, especially the closest friends of yours. It's so fucking, like, when I went on like this big degenerate phase after I sort of got broken up with, I'm not even taking the piss. Most of my friends were completely shit. They were some of the shittiest people that I've known in my life. These people, they were like, oh, you really think you can reach 100 kilos? Haha. Oh, you want to take steroids? You're so dumb. Oh, you want to drop out? You're so dumb. You're going to regret it. Ha ha ha. And all these people did not support my goals. All these people laughed at me for posting on social media. They laughed at the reels that I made on Instagram. They laughed at my YouTube videos and said that I was like a fucking dumbass for, even doing this. And I'm just so glad that I took Tren and I understood that these people were not benefiting my life. Because if it weren't for the trend that I was taking, I wouldn't have committed right now. It was such a vital decision that I've done back then. But, sort of enough of the sidetrack. Really try and find the distractions. And these questions that I mentioned earlier about finding the constraint, really journal these. Like, really sit down and write down every single, like genuinely write that question. Sit there for at least, put a timer for at least 10 minutes and fill a whole paper of just the different things. Like, who can I remove from my life? Are these people actually helping me? Are these people not helping me? What can I remove from my life? This action doesn't benefit me. That action doesn't benefit me. These goals, what can I remove from my life? Well, I want to do the other karate thing. I want to do the MMA. I want to do the guitar. And you remove all these different aspirations that don't benefit your goal. And so it's just that simple. It's really just that simple. And it will be painful at first. But the moment that you basically remove these things, you just have this sigh of relief. You'll be like, oh, finally, like I just feel free. I have my time. I have everything. I can actually just for once focus. And so, that's all I can really fucking tell you. And it's, this journey is fucking difficult, certainly. But once you do these key actions, these 3 steps, and it's all just basically down to sticking to this, you're all set. That's really all I could fucking say. So I guess that's really all there really is to it for this video. I really have nothing else to say. It's like, you will not regret going on this. Like, when I first got into this, when I first tried going on this sort of monk mode season, I was hesitant. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't sure if this was actually the thing that was promised, the thing that, back then my mentor told me it would be. I just wasn't sure. I was like, maybe what if it isn't this way? But I took his word for it. I was like, okay, he's saying that, this season's gonna change my life, and all I have to do is remove these couple of friends and remove these bad habits and stick to this and actually, have a dedicated routine. And next thing I knew, I had a millionaire's mindset. I was literally set. If only I didn't quit back then, I was literally set to make all my dreams come true, quite literally. And yeah, I made a mistake back then, but I'm glad I did, because now at least not only do I get to do this again, which is fun enough, but also I get to teach you this mistake. So hopefully you don't fall into it. And so, I guess it's a win-win. So I'll get fucking moving. Oh, fuck, dude. I've literally been sat here for fucking an hour, dude. Holy smokes. So yeah, as long as you go into the work, you'll be getting your results.